Hey, what up, you guys? Danny B. You're watching the Trash Dash. In this video, I'm going to be ranking the Amityville horror movies. I don't know when Amityville went public domain. There's considered to be like 10 official films, and then the rest are kind of like the public domain movies. A lot of these are different studios making these films, so I don't know how officially even like some of these sequels are, but these are the ones that people are saying are the official ones. So I'm going to be just ranking the first 10, because now there's like 10 Amityville horror films a year, and it's just because it's like all these like independent filmmakers are making their own thing. There's even like Amityville Death Toilet and Amityville in Space, Amityville Shark, which I guess, Jaws was an Amityville shark. I'm just going to stick with the 10 that people are saying are like the real ones. So, yeah. All right, coming up at number 10 is going to be Amityville 3D. And this is the one I had the highest hopes for, because I love like cheesy kind of like 3D gimmick movies. I think this is the only one in the whole franchise that's rated PG, and it really kind of shows. There is a couple cool like death scenes, especially the one with like the girl bursting into flames in the car is really cool. But yeah, I just wasn't feeling this one. I think it was mostly the characters. I didn't care about any of the characters in this really. I thought they were all like really cheesy. And this came out like a year after Poltergeist, and I noticed some stuff in this that kind of felt like Poltergeist like rip-off material. So I don't know if it was just like a quick cash grab, like let's make a Amityville Poltergeist movie. I like the Amityville films better than the Poltergeist movies. But yeah, this one's not necessarily bad or nothing. It's just not my favorite. I mean, this one's probably still better than like some of these like newer Amityville films like Amityville Karen or whatever the fuck, but yeah, not my favorite. All right, coming up at number 9 is going to be Amityville Curse. And this is the one people seem to hate the most. I didn't mind it. It wasn't that great, but I thought it was decent. I like the characters in this one a lot better than Amityville 3D. This really doesn't have anything to do with the actual Amityville house, I don't think, if I recall. But it does take place in Amityville, New York, and it's got like, they move into like a different haunted house. And this is kind of like this like sort of slasher film where this guy is killing priests, and you're supposed to not know who does it, but it's pretty obvious. The only clue is that the suspect smokes cigarettes. Then there's a guy that's living in the house that smokes 1 million cigarettes a day. This one kind of reminded me of like, the type of slasher film that like a Slumber Party Massacre Part 3 is, where it's like super generic, but it's not necessarily bad. It's just kind of like run of the mill. But yeah, this had some fun characters in it and some fun moments. So Amityville Curse at number 9. All right, coming up at number 8 is going to be Amityville 1992. It's About Time. A lot of people love this one. I've even seen people put this as their number 1 Amityville movie. I thought it had some cool moments and stuff, but I wasn't that crazy about it. I don't know why. It just kind of felt like a little bit like a chore to get through this one. I kind of think just like the stuff about like the time, like almost like a time travel type of thing. I don't know. I just wasn't feeling this one that much. It does have a few fun moments in it. Amityville 1992 is About Time at number 8. All right, coming up at number 7 is going to be the Amityville remake. And I like this one. Some stuff in this I liked a little better than the original, but overall I like the original a little better. I like the pacing of this one a little better than the original. It does move a lot faster. You cut out a lot of the scenes with the priest, which are probably kind of important, but they do like skip through a lot of that stuff. Something that this one has that the original doesn't have is the little girl going onto the roof. I thought that scene was excellent. That was a really cool, like, suspenseful scene. Something this one has that I don't like so much is like just like the CGI jump scares, like the spooky girl in the house and stuff. I thought that was a little cheesy. I didn't mind it, but compared to like the spookiness of the original, I prefer the original. But yeah, this one overall was pretty good. So number 7, Amityville, the remake. All right, coming up at number 6 is going to be Amityville Horror, the original. This was a really cool film. Definitely a slow burn type of film, but this one was really good. I don't know if Stanley Kubrick took ideas from this for The Shining, but it's a lot like The Shining. I mean, I know there was like the book and the Stephen King book. I don't know which one of those came out first. But yeah, definitely if you want to see someone kind of slowly go crazy inside a haunted house and like how the house is like affecting the family is really good. Also, I love the theme music in this. It's almost like a Dario Argento theme. One of the creepiest moments in this is when the wife is looking out the window and then like some sort of monster, I don't know if it's like a spirit or what, but you see its eyes kind of move. That scene really creeped me out. Yeah, definitely a good movie, and it made me want to watch all the sequels, so yeah. Alright, coming up at number 5 is going to be Amityville, The New Generation. And this is such a fun kind of like 90s cheesy horror film. I don't think this film is necessarily better than the original, but I just like cheesy kind of like movies like this. I liked all the characters in this, and I really like the cinematography in this. I know it's supposed to be New York, but I swear it feels like they shot this in San Francisco. Like everything looks like how San Francisco looks. And this movie must have been sponsored by Reebok or something, because every single person in this is wearing like Reebok jumpsuits, Reebok shoes. They even talk about Reeboks in one of the scenes. Could have called this like Amityville Reebok. But it's a great cast. Maybe my favorite cast in the whole franchise. I forget who plays the lead actor, but you got like Richard Roundtree in this. Terry O'Quinn is in this. The guy from American Werewolf in London is in this. And I kind of like how this one sort of tied into part 2, so it almost feels like a sequel to part 2. This one doesn't have the Amityville house in it, but it does have like, like they get a mirror from the house. A lot of these 90s movies, I think they were all made by Republic Pictures. They couldn't film at the actual house from like the original movie, so they would have like things like mirrors and clocks and stuff be like the haunting source. So that's number 5, Amityville, The New Generation. All right, coming up at number 4 is going to be Amityville Dollhouse. I really like this one. This one is such a like cheesy 90s movie. The little kid in this is the worst. Like, not in a bad way, but he's just such a weird kid. The older brother hates his like little stepbrother, and I completely see why. The kid is like such a douchebag. He's like going around correcting everyone's grammar and like spouting off scientific facts to like kind of like put you, make you feel stupid. It's like, this kid's a fucking asshole. The dollhouse, I don't know where it comes from, because the guy literally just built the house, so I don't know why there's a dollhouse in a garage he just built, but it's there, and it actually looks pretty cool. It's like a complete dollhouse of the original Amityville house. I was cracking up, like the dollhouse somehow makes the wife want the stepson, and like, so she's like, fucking her husband, and then like you get all these like weird creepy like smiling pictures of the stepson smiling at her while she's banging the guy. And then I was dying laughing at like the guy's brother comes to town, and he's supposed to be some kind of biker, but it's like the nerdiest guy dressed up as like a Hell's Angel. I was like, is this supposed to be like the fucking 90s motorcycle badass? And some pretty awesome gore effects in this. The son's girlfriend like burning alive, and her face is almost like Freddy Krueger-ish. And then you got the little brother's like real dad coming back as a zombie. He almost kind of like reminds me of like Ben from House. He almost looks like a zombified Bill Moseley or something. So that's number 4, Amityville Dollhouse. All right, coming up at number 3 is Amityville: The Awakening. And this is directed by Frank Calhoun, who directed like the Maniac remake and P2. This guy's a great horror director. And I thought this one was going to be like super low budget, like an unofficial film or something. But no, this one's produced by Dimension and co-produced by Blumhouse, like one of their early films. This one is the first one, I believe, since the remake to take place in the actual Amityville house. So you got like, not the real life house. This one's a pretty cool like possession movie where her paralyzed brother is kind of possessed by the ghost of Roy DeFeo. And they actually use his real name in this one, like unlike the other movies, they change it. It does have a few like kind of cheesy jump scares, but they're actually done a lot better than in the Amityville remake. Like, they don't feel as cheap. Like, the camera is focused on the main character, and then kind of like in the corner you see something go through the mirror. Definitely done a lot better. Yeah, I dug this one. Number 3, Amityville: The Awakening. All right, coming up at number 2 is going to be Amityville 4: The Evil Escapes. This is a made-for-TV movie, so it's, kind of cheesy, but it actually, I feel like it has more gore in it than like some of the like made for straight to video films like Amityville Dollhouse. And this is the one where they get a lamp from the Amityville house. And this does have a scene with the Amityville house in it where all the priests march in. The lamp is like shooting flies in their face and throwing them across the room and stuff. A lot of cool practical effects in this. There's a scene where this guy's trying to fix the drain and he sticks his hand down the garbage disposal. Just like all this blood starts shooting out of it. The final ending shot of this had me dying laughing. I'm not going to spoil it, but if you know the movie, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, I just had a lot of fun with this one. And it's got the kid from Puppet Master Part 3 in it as the little brother. There's a funny scene where like, I don't know, he's fucking around with a chainsaw in the basement and the thing starts up by itself. So then for like 5 to 10 minutes, he's like running around with this running chainsaw. I don't know if he can't just set it down or what, but like he's sawing up, his grandma's like running at him with a broomstick to try to stop him, and he's like sawing through that shit. It was a pretty funny scene. And I like the priest in this. I thought he did a great job. And because this one has like a little blonde girl in it, I thought it was gonna be like a Poltergeist ripoff, but no, she ends up being like super creepy in it. One of the creepiest kid actors I've seen in a while. So yeah, I really enjoyed this one. Amityville 4, The Evil Escapes at number 2. Very cheesy, but very enjoyable. All right, and coming up at number 1 is going to be part 2, Amityville 2, The Possession. And this one is not cheesy. I mean, it has a few cheesy moments, but this one is by far in the franchise like the darkest out of all of them. This one really kind of like blew me away and disturbed me at like how evil this kid becomes. It almost reminds me of like a Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer type of movie where it's like you kind of see his descent into madness and descent into darkness. And this is a kind of like a true crime film because it did happen in real life. But at the same time, they like change it to like where the house is actually possessing this kid. And I like the cast in this. The guy that played the priest, you know, I'm really bad at names, so I forget his name. But also Burt Young is in this from the Rocky movies and other stuff. And like I said in my review for this, this one actually I feel is like a better Exorcist sequel than a lot of the Exorcist sequels. Like if I was gonna marathon the Exorcist movies I actually like, I would put on like the original, then Amityville 2, The Possession, then Exorcist Part 3. And I haven't seen the new one, so I can't count that yet. So it's an official Amityville house movie, but then an unofficial Exorcist movie. Like it does the exorcism, the possession stuff as good as the Exorcist movies. And you got like the creepy incest storyline. I'm not a huge fan of that, but it does kind of develop his character even like more evil than he already was. And then the practical effects in this are pretty good too. Like especially like the body horror shit with like his face kind of like slowly turning into weird demonic shit. Specifically what I'm thinking of is like there's a scene where like all the plates and glasses are flying around the kitchen and stuff. And they tried to do this in the Poltergeist movie where like, I don't know, the Ghostbusters of that movie open the door and there's like stuff flying around the room and it's all like green screen and looks kind of like it doesn't hold up so great. This stuff is actually like people behind the camera throwing shit around. So it actually looks really cool. And then what cracks me up is then Burt Young walks in and thinks the kids are doing this. Like fucking throwing every single plate and dish around like out of different angles and like it doesn't even make sense. But yeah, definitely my favorite Amityville horror house movie, Amityville 2, The Possession. Alright guys, it's Danny B. You're watching the Trash Dash. Let me know if there's any other good Amityville movies. I definitely want to check out some of the newer ones, but I want to check out like the good ones. I don't want to go straight to like Amityville Death Toilet. But let me know if there's any like actual good ones that are like independent films. Let me know your ranking and let me know your opinion of the Amityville franchise. Hit the like button, comment, and subscribe. Peace out.